Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. The presidential hopeful raised a record $8.2 million just 24 hours after the announcement of his campaign. This despite his announcement suffering from crashes and delays on Twitter.
DeSantis was asked about the Twitter crash incident while speaking with our very own Eric Bolling right here on Newsmax. Let's listen to what the governor had to say.
We got way more play about it than we would have if I just would have given a speech. And so somebody asked me earlier today, well, given that Twitter had the 20-minute delay, would you have done it differently? And I was like, well, I would have asked them to have maybe more capacity and say maybe we'll get even more people, but I would not have traded doing a speech. I think that this has been something that a lot of people are talking about, and I think that it's something that as we go forward, we need to be able to speak directly to people, and that's what we did.
Next week, Governor DeSantis will travel to Iowa to kick off his presidential campaign. To kick things off, let's bring in our weekend panel with contributing editor for the American Spectator, Jeffrey Lord, and also with us is American Ambassador for the America First Policy Institute, retired U.S. Marine Corporal Gunnery Sergeant, and Newsmax contributor, she does it all, Jessie Jane Duff. And we also have our special guest, Dennis Neal. So, Jessie, your response to Governor DeSantis there?
That just sounds like a lot of rationalization that he gave that, oh, we got a lot.
Governor DeSantis there.
That just sounds like a lot of rationalization that he gave that, oh, we got a lot of attention. Yeah, you got a lot of attention for a botched announcement. That's what the attention was. There was no conversation about what he was offering the country. There was no announcement that we all are talking about what his policy changes are going to be, what he's going to make a difference in. We're all talking about one thing, that Twitter crashed. And he's trying to take credit for that, for having so many people get on board. No, it was showing a lack of preparation in something that had not been tested before. And I go to think about the OJ trial. When they went and they hadn't tested the glove. They said, if it does not fit, you must acquit. They didn't know if that glove would fit. Well, here we go. We're having a Twitter space trying to do a presidential election, and it crashes. I'm sorry. It was a botch. It was fail. Can he recover from it? Of course he can. But don't sit there and try to take credit for something that was not strategically probable or possible.
Jeffrey, Eric also asked the governor what he would think about potentially running on a ticket with former President Trump as vice president. Listen.
I think that some of the things he's been attacking me on, I've been a little surprised at because he's attacking me from the left. And that really wasn't the Donald Trump from 2015 and 2016. I mean, he was a hard charger leaning in on all the issues, very edgy on conservative issues, and it was part of the reason he did so well. But when he's taken Disney's side against me, I just kind of wonder, like, okay, I get he wants to hit me, but don't take the side of a multinational corporation that wants to sexualize kids. So I'm not sure what his strategy is, but I think he's taking positions that are a little bit different than 4 or 5 years ago.
Well, Jeffrey, it's good to see you. Is Trump attacking DeSantis on ideological differences, or is this just part of the politics and can eventually find some common ground?
Well, first of all, congratulations to the two of you on the show you're doing. Couldn't happen to two better people. This is what presidential primaries are all about. And it wouldn't surprise me in the least if they wound up as a ticket after this. If you go back in history, as you know, I worked for President Reagan. He spent the primary season of 1980 being scalded by George H.W. Bush as the champion of voodoo economics and worse. And then he put him on the ticket as his vice president. And you go back even further, Senator John F. Kennedy was repeatedly scalded by Senator Lyndon Johnson as not fit and too young to be president. And he picks LBJ as his running mate. This happens. There's a lot of noise in these primaries. You want to make sure you're invested in popcorn stock for it. It'll be brutal. They are brutal. But then hopefully everybody comes together when it's over.
Well, Dennis, where do you see DeSantis in the GOP race?
Well, first of all, I vehemently disagree with the argument that this Twitter Spaces call was a big disaster. I don't think anyone listening cared about the 20-minute glitch. And the thought that the guy had no specifics is just entirely wrong. He said first day he'd fire Ray from the FBI. He said he'd build the wall. He said that, remain in Mexico. He said a lot of things that Trump would do. It's just that he doesn't have Trump's baggage. Now, I voted for Trump twice. I love this man. I love the story of Trump coming back and winning and being vindicated, okay? But if he's unable to beat Biden, if we have to go somewhere else, I thought that DeSantis just turned this into a two-man race for the Republican nomination.
Jessie, real quick, your parting thoughts, and then we'll go to Jeffrey.
Well, of course, I disagree with that because I haven't heard anything about Ron DeSantis's policies. All I've heard about on the media, the conservative media, has been about the Twitter glitch. But I would also say about Disney, he's going about a lot of this in a wrong way. Number one, Trump has built up a lot of business in Florida, and he is the biggest reason that he is one of the biggest reasons Florida is a success because of his financial backing of those businesses. And Disney is a massive employer. There are other ways to resolve your issues with Disney instead of trying to take the rug out from underneath them. It's not popular with most Americans what he's doing. They look at it as he's going after Mickey Mouse. So I don't think that he's very strategic in looking at the long-term impact of some of the allegations that he's making against Disney. He needs to settle a lot of these things outside of the public eye and show that he's a savvy businessman who can negotiate instead of just assailing politically after a company that disagreed with his policies.
Jeffrey, 30 seconds, sir.
Well, I think Donald Trump is far away in the lead here. And, the problem when you're somebody like Governor DeSantis and you're doing this for the very first time, every mistake you make is going to be thrown in your face and you're going to make some innocently not realizing you're making a mistake. I think that's the problem Governor DeSantis has to face, the Twitter episode being just episode 1 here. So there's more to come. We shall see.
All right. It's been a great discussion. Dr. Tom, take it away.
Jeffrey Lord, Jessie Jane Duff, thank you both for joining us this Memorial Day weekend.
Thank you.
You bet.